All right, so today we're gonna working on the pectoral major, and we're gonna isolate some of the back too. Some exercises we're gonna do are gonna stretch out the chest. This way you can the lactic acid build up in the chest as well. We're gonna have George demonstrate some of the exercises too. We're gonna start off with dumbbell flies. This way you're building up a lot of tension on the rear part of the chest. So with this exercise, you don't want to go too far out, but you want to keep your elbows bent, slightly bent. This way you're adding some contraction in the chest, a little bit lower down, right there, and back up. When you want to squeeze the chest, so you contract the muscles, build that lot of tension in the chest. That's how you get the ripples in the chest as well. Keep going, one more. There you go. Then back up. All right, now we're gonna go on with chest press. You go back down, bro. Regular chest press. After you do this, after you do the dumbbell flies, you're just gonna go straight into chest press. Keep your elbows slightly bent, but you wanna keep your elbows pointed in, so this way you're working on the neutral part of the chest. Back down. You don't wanna have your elbows too far out. You wanna keep them slightly in when you're doing a chest press. There you go. You want to do an eccentric phase, which is going down real slow and then shooting back up. There you go. So this way you're allowing the chest to get a good squeeze. You're not using too much of the inhale to exhale phase where you're coming back down. You're keeping it real tight, keeping it real neutral. One more. As you can tell by his breathing, he's bringing it in on the way down, and then once he pushes up, he's breathing out. All right, that's good. We're gonna do one more exercise for you, which is on an incline bench. You lay down. Now this right here is gonna work on the upper part of your chest. He's gonna do the same routine as he did when he was laying down. He's gonna do dumbbell flies, keeping the elbows slightly bent as he goes down. There you go. Now chest is kind of redundant, repetitive, kind of doing the same movements, keeping the chest tight, keeping everything tight, keeping the elbows neutral. On your way down, one more. There you go. Now we're gonna do regular chest press. Keeping the elbow slightly turn in to the body. There you go. Then back up. Eccentric and concentric phase. Concentric is basically you're pushing up. You're exhaling on the way up. You're letting the weight come down slowly but gradually. Just not letting it fall down, because that's how you tear ligaments. You want to get a good stretch within the ligaments of the chest, so this way you're getting a good pump. Back up, there you go. That's good. All right, that kind of concludes chest right there. You want to basically contract the muscles on the inside, so you're squeezing the chest in. As you're here, you're working on the pectoral phase, which is working on both right here. And the secondary muscle, you want to work your triceps as well, because that's the secondary muscle of the bicep, of the chest. So the more you isolate the tricep, the better your chest will be. And that's pretty much it. All right, now we're gonna work on the lat pull downs, which is basically this part right here of the back, which is underneath the wing of the arm. So basically this part right here is your lats. This is the part that flares out. George is gonna demonstrate some exercise of lat pull downs. I'm gonna show you what part that is on a human form. Right here, these two parts right here, the wings of the back. As you can see, he's doing an eccentric phase, which is bringing it down slowly, then letting it go. Back up. He's breathing in and out, in and out. Now, also he's working on the rear delts. So you have 3 parts of your back. Actually, you have 5 parts of your back. You have 3 parts of the trapezius, which is 1, 2, and 3, the lower back. You have the rear delts right here, these 2 big old knots on both sides. And then you have the traps, the rear traps as well. You're working on those, all 3 of those factors you're working on when you're doing a lat pull down. So that's probably why that's the best exercise to do. He's gonna demonstrate one more exercise. There you go. All right, that's good. All right, now he's gonna demonstrate the dumbbell reverse flies, which is the same as a chest press. You could do this anywhere you go. It's a really good basic exercise. You're gonna keep your forehead right on the incline part of the bench. You're gonna basically reverse flies. Basically, you're just gonna take your elbows. You're gonna point your elbows back. You're gonna squeeze the inner part of any part of the trapezius of the back. You wanna keep your elbows tight, just like you did the chest press. Keep your elbows tight. Don't go too far back, because then you start working on a different part of your back. But keep them mid. You don't go too far to the shoulder, because you don't want to work your shoulders as well. You want to work just your back. You're gonna do one more. Squeeze. There you go. That's good. Now one more exercise. Last but not least, he's gonna do straight bar rows. He's gonna keep his head on the seat of the incline bench as well. Same position. Now you're working on the trapezius here back. The first one you're working on the rear delts. Now you're working on the trapezius of the back, which is the second middle part of the trapezius. You worked on the top, which was the first part where your delts were. The mid section is what you're doing for the rows. And then the lower back will be for like good mornings, if you ever see those. One more. There you go. And that concludes the back. So today we're going to be focusing on the quads, the hamstrings, the calf muscles, and stuff like that, and possibly the lower back, depending on how you're moving. So I'm gonna have George demonstrate some workouts for you. He's gonna demonstrate just a regular squat, which focuses on the hamstrings, the quad, and the calves. So the whole leg, rather than you just isolating one muscle. This has always been the best workout to do for working on legs. So go ahead. As you can see, he's on a 90-degree angle. Not bending his back too far back, but on a slight angle. He's contracting his hamstrings and his quads at the same time, mobilizing his hamstrings, so this way that you get an isolated good stretch on the way down. Not going all the way down to where his butt is hitting his heels, but just slightly. One more. And as you can see, his knees aren't touching together on the way down. They're not buckling, they're not going in, or they're not going too far out. So that's good to do. You don't want your knees touching each other when on the way down, because then you're not isolating any part of your leg. You're just messing up the tissue in your knees. He's going to demonstrate one more exercise, which is the front squat. The front squat is basically for people who are advanced. If you want to do the front squat, it really isolates just the front part of the quad. So just the front part of the leg. If you don't know what the quad is, it's this part of the leg. So go ahead. It's the same form as just a regular squat. You're not bending your back too much. You're bending it slightly forward, so you're isolating the quads. You will feel a little bit of pull in the hamstrings on your way up, but that's normal. You're still working a leg, but you're isolating just the quad for now. Do one more. And again, his knees are not touching, so try not to touch your knees when you're doing it. All right, last one, we're gonna do a stiff leg deadlift, which is for hamstrings only. So as you can tell, he's bending over like we did for the back for a dumbbell row. But instead of doing a row, which is full form all the way to the back, you're just gonna basically bend your body down and you're just gonna bring it right back up. So you're isolating the hamstrings. Make sure you keep your head up when you're coming down and you're coming back up. You don't want to keep your head down. There you go, one more. Bring the bar all the way closest to your knee as possible and bring it down to touch your toes and then bring it back up. And that concludes legs.